Hey guys, Melon here, out by the water. It's absolutely gorgeous. I jogged down here with my dog. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous morning. I'm powering myself up for the day. I'm connecting with my environment. I'm taking in the energy that's all around me. I'm acknowledging the energy that is within me. I am power. I am abundant. I'm connecting with that. I'm attaching myself to that truth. I'm remembering, recalling, thinking about who I really am, what I really am. And I'm just going to share a little bit about my unfooding experience this week. Before I do that, I'll just remind you that, the information that I share, the information that I teach is a collection of work, a huge body of work by 4 major doctors and professors from the past century, past 200 years. I've studied and worked with and gained a deeper understanding of the work of Dr. Arnold Ehret, Dr. Robert Morris, Dr. Sebi, and Professor Hilton Hotima. These are invaluable resources. Okay, you've got to have a new understanding of physiology. You just cannot come to your very best holding on to the incorrect ideas that we've been taught about physiology, about science, about our physical world, about our biological world. This information is wrong, and it's holding us back. You've got to get that truthful science background, and it's not the allopathic science model. It is the healing science model, and it is completely different. I mean, completely different. It is different science. The truthful science is really not that complicated. You don't need to go to university for 4 to 8 years to get an understanding on how to heal or change anything in your life. And when I say heal or change anything, I mean anything, because there is only one infliction upon the human being. One infliction. Once you realize there is only one ailment for the human, it's not that hard to correct it. And then once it's corrected, you step into the greatest version of yourself, an infinite version of yourself, an all-powerful version of yourself, where you are able to manifest anything that you wish. This is possible. So when I say anything with regards to healing, I mean anything. Losing weight, healing pain, overcoming cancer, diabetes, sickness, disease, or overcoming trauma or loss, or stepping into your abundance. All is possible. And it's all being blocked by this one infliction that the human being has. The simple infliction upon the human being is mucus. Mucus is the response of the body to any sort of toxic residue that's gotten inside of the skin. The body releases mucus to try and remove, expel whatever it is has gotten in. Even if you get a splinter, your body will release mucus to try and get it out. If you have, you'll get pus at the site of the splinter. You're probably familiar with that. If you get some sort of dust particle enter into your nostrils, if a dust particle enters into your nostrils, you'll have mucus trying to run and rush the dust particle out of your nose, and that's all just normal, natural mucus response that the body has. So the body has two responses to toxicity. It's mucus, and then the second response is inflammation. So these two are the root cause of all ailments, all problems, all circumstances, all situations. All negative circumstances and situations are related to these two issues, mucus and inflammation. If you'd like to change any of these things anything in your life, it's just to correct the mucus and inflammation and remove it from the body. And the way to do that is to remove the toxins from the body. Now, speaking about toxins, there's basically two types of toxins. There are physical or elemental toxins, right? So we have like chemicals, fluoride or chlorine that's in our water, or you get chemicals that you may be picking up in the environment, maybe from the air. Maybe you're picking up chemicals from the food, chemicals from the plastics. You may be picking up chemicals from the plastics. There's chemicals, obviously, in medications. If you're cooking in incorrect pans, even when we cook food, there's a chemical residue that's made from the cooking of food. So I mean, fermentation from food wastes create toxins inside of the body. So these are elemental toxins that end up inside of the system. We've also got, obviously, the mucus toxin. So if the mucus is being secreted to try to release the toxin from the body, and the mucus, gets hardened and dries, it becomes a plaque, and that plaque blocks up the lymphatic system. If the lymphatic system is blocked, then the body can't remove waste. So even your own mucus can become toxic inside of the body. Your own mucus can cause your body to create inflammation. So even your mucus, your pus, your inflammation can be a response to dust particles or elemental things that are going inside the body. Your mucus can then become the toxin that creates an inflammatory response. So your mucus, your inflammation, your pus, these are all toxins. Then there's also the psychological toxins, right? Like your thoughts and words can be toxic inside of your body. Incorrect thoughts and words. When I say incorrect thoughts and words, I'm talking about thoughts and words that are not in alignment with what you want to create. If you're trying to create something, you're trying to manifest something, you're trying to accomplish a goal, any thoughts and words that are not in alignment with your goal, these are misaligned thoughts and words. These are toxic thoughts and words. You cannot move forward with toxic thoughts and words. Toxic thoughts and words create incorrect hormonal responses in your body. They create incorrect endorphin responses in your body, and they create fear and sadness and sorrow inside of your body. Incorrect thoughts block us from accomplishing our goals. Toxins stop us from accomplishing our goals. Toxins and incorrect thoughts are toxins. Toxins can be thoughts, or they can be physical, elemental, chemical. Toxins can also be alive, like bacteria or parasite or fungus or yeast or candida, right? They can be alive toxins that must be removed from your body. You need to change your diet. You need to change your diet to remove these toxins. You need to change your diet to stop the mucus response, to stop the inflammatory response. You need to eliminate these elements from your body that are creating toxicity inside of your body. Look at the work of Dr. Arnold Ehret, for instance. Ehret suggested that if we want to heal the body, the first thing we do is we commence into a fast. If we can begin a fast for 24 hours or 48 hours is what Ehret suggested. Up to 3-day fasts. That's what he suggested. Fasting up to 3 days. And then the sooner that the patient falls under discomfort from the fast is an indication of how toxic the patient's body is. So if the patient gets sick within 12 hours or 14 hours or 16 hours, or gets anxious or finds a mucus response or finds a sore throat or finds themselves very irritable or uncomfortable about the fast at 14 or 16 or 18 or 20 hours, well, that says something to Ehret about how toxic the body is. If the patient can go 2 days or 3 days without feeling toxic symptoms, then the patient is more well, not as toxic. Because as we move into the fast, the body starts to expel the toxins. The toxins are stored in the body fat, right? The body stores the chemicals, the wastes, as fat inside of the body. And as we empty the body and fast, the fat gets used up and the toxins reintroduce into the system. So if we have a lot of toxins inside of the system, if we have a lot of stored fat, as we start to release the body fat, the toxins start to re-enter the system. As the toxins, the chemicals, the drugs, the alcohol, the caffeine, the medications that we've been using for years, the incorrect foods that we've stored in body fat, as those things start to release back into the body starts to feel that toxic residue starting to climb. That makes the body feel uncomfortable. It may make you feel anxious. It may make you feel depressed. It may make you feel irritable, right? You can get all sorts of symptoms as you start to detoxify your body. Fatigue, lethargy, low motivation, low desire, low sadness, sorrow, frustration, emotional responses can happen. All sorts of things can happen with toxicity. It starts to climb as the body starts to empty, as the body starts to detoxify. I'll tell you, going 5 days, 6 days. This week I'm going 6 days without food. Last week I made it 5 and I messed up a little bit on Friday night. I got into some juice and then started eating. A little bit of a slip up. And next week I'll get my 6-week goal, which is what I want to do. But as you go extended days fasting, the toxicity really starts to rise. The toxicity is dumped into the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system carries it into the bloodstream. The blood pumps it to the intestinal region. A lot of lymphatic waste goes into the intestines where it's going to be released as fecal waste. Now, what I find is when I'm not eating for 4, 5, 6 days, a lot of toxicity comes into the system, builds up inside of the intestines. So the intestines get very filled with mucus and toxicity. This can make me feel low energy, lethargic after 5 days, after 6 days. And in order to get that toxicity out of the body, like Ehret says, fast 1, 2, 3 days and then eat. Eat raw foods, specifically fruits is what he recommends. High fibrous foods too, and vegetables too. That fiber helps to scrape the colons clean and eliminate the waste and then repeat the fast again. So 1, 2, 3 days fast, eat hydrating fruits, juices, and fibrous vegetables to clear the colon. Trying to move beyond food, following in the work of some of my great mentors, Elatom Elamine, and some other breatharians that are alive on the planet today that have built upon the work of Dr. Arnold Ehret and built upon the work of Professor Hilton Hotima, who were the pioneers of the food-free movement. I like to call it unfooding. Distilled water detoxification. Ehret talked about fruit and fasting. Dr. Morris talks about fruit and fasting. Dr. Morris really talks about fruit being the food that eliminates high hydrated foods, that are the foods that contain the astringent fluids that break up the plaque waste and eliminate toxic elements from the body. Now, it's the fruit fluids. And what are the fruit fluids? The fruit fluids are distilled waters. Distilled waters are what's in the fruit. Distilled waters are what's in the vegetables. So it's distilled waters that detoxify the body, eliminate the toxic waste, eliminate the toxic elements. Distilled waters detoxify, and the emptiness is when the body heals. The body heals when it's empty. Stillness and silence is what heals the body. Mindfulness, meditation is what heals the body. Movement is what brings energy into the body. Energy raises hormones, raises endorphins, raises the positive thoughts that we need to have internally going on, that internal dialogue. Healing is a change of thought, emotion, removal of physical element. It's a change of spirit body. It's a change of mental body. It's a change in the physical body. It's a change in the emotional body. It's a series of repetition of thought and word and habit and behavior. And it's also a recycling of emptiness and feeding, and emptiness and feeding, fruit and fasting, fruit and fasting, fruit and vegetables and fasting, raw food and fasting, vegan nutrition and fasting, right? Start at whatever level you're at. Maybe it's just at the level of eliminating eating out. Maybe it's just at the level of eliminating fast foods. Maybe you're just at the level of eliminating coffee and alcohol. Whatever level you're at, it doesn't matter what level you're at.